You think that Body Break was started because of fitness. Well, it wasn't. It was started to combat racism. That was the #1 reason that we started Body Break, Joanne and I. It happened back in...
We all know and love Body Break. It's a classic Canadian series urging us to all keep fit and have fun. And as you just heard Hal Johnson say, the concept was created out of blatant racism. The video going viral, and we're glad to have Hal joining us this morning, live from Oakville, Ontario. Good morning, Hal.
Good morning.
How are you doing?
I'm doing great, doing great.
And it's been a whirlwind few days since you posted that video, and we're very forthcoming with kind of the start of Body Break and how it all began for you. Tell us this story for those that are unfamiliar with the start of Body Break and how things kind of played out.
Well, the original, start, there was a lot of things that led up to it, but when on June 8th of 1988, I was doing a commercial with at Woodbine Racetrack in Toronto, and there was a white woman next to me and a white gentleman on the other side, and we're actors, kind of cheering in this commercial. Mm-hmm. And then the assistant director went to the director and whispered something in his ear, and then the director came to us and said, and switched the two people, the two white actors. And then I asked the assistant director at lunch, I said, "Oh, just curious, why did you switch the two?" And he said, "Well, the client didn't want the white woman to be next to you." And so I thought about that, because just in case that people might think we're together. That was kind of a taboo that he thought. And I grew up, my mom's white, my dad's black. I certainly didn't think that was taboo. And so I thought about it at lunch, and I wrote out a little storyboard of what I could do. And I had met Joanne a little bit prior to that, about a month and a half prior to that. And it was like, I thought, you know what? I think we can do something together. Joanne's a fantastic athlete. Mm-hmm. She's very attractive. She's pretty. We can do this. And so Joanne and I really talked it through, and came up with the idea of Body Break. And then we went on to try to pitch it to 40 different organizations and companies, and we're all turned down. And then we went to TSN, and TSN said that they love the show, but they'd prefer a white actor as far as myself, instead of myself. And that compelled me that afternoon to then say, well, who would think that me being black and Joanne being white would be a good thing? And that's how I that afternoon, Joanne suggested to go to Participation, and literally the rest is history.
Yeah, it is history. And, you're speaking about TSN, and TSN issued an apology. So, to go back even a little further, you were hired by TSN originally to be a sportscaster there, but you got a call saying that was going to be taken away?
Yeah, they said that Mark Jones had recently been hired by TSN as a sportscaster, and he's black, and he's now at ESPN and has been there for a long time, very successful, very good broadcaster on ESPN. And the Jack Hutchison, the gentleman who hired me, called me 3 hours after he hired me and told me that unfortunately they can't have two black reporters on. So that was something that happened prior to June 8th of '88. So again, it was all these things happened, and then I thought, you know what? How do we make a change? I know when I grew up as a kid, I would watch golf on TV, and especially watching the Masters in the '60s. I would see black caddies, but I wouldn't see any black golfers, and it was all the golfers were white. And I thought that was kind of rooted in my head, that why aren't we showing? Why isn't television showing people of diversity? Why isn't it showing people with persons with disabilities? There should be more of the landscape. That's what Canada is. I mean, you walk down Yonge Street, you see everything, and that's fantastic. And it's such literally a melting pot of people, and we should have everybody at the table saying their voice, saying their perspectives, because we all give a different perspective, and having different people there will enrich all of us. And I think that's so true back then, but it's certainly true today.
Yeah, and it's so important. And and we were talking about this a few days ago when your video came out. I was talking to a few friends of mine, and I'm like, your attitude, your energy has always been positive. It's always been this, and you took that negative situation and you spun it. Was it difficult for you to say, man, okay, you know what, I'm going to make good out of this really terrible situation?
Well, I didn't really think of it in that. I thought there's always an opportunity. Right. There's always a way. And that's kind of having that thing. And I have a poem that was given to me when I was 8 years old And it's called The One Who Thinks He Can. And I put that in my desk, and it's had it there since I was 8. And I recite it, especially those times that I feel like things are getting me down. And it's like something, oh, you can do it, you can push through it. And my parents, they said, my dad was always telling me I was the greatest. So all of those things, that positive energy that you're getting from people that know you, you draw on when things aren't going your way. So I think that's what's so important. Have good friends, have good people around you that are positives in your life. And those people that don't think you can achieve things, well, those people take a back seat.
Yeah, you definitely proved them all wrong. You see the apology that we posted it just now as well from TSN. What is your response to that apology now, so many years later?
Well, there's really no need. I'm not a victim. I didn't need an apology. I really didn't want an apology. I think the funny thing is my mom called me and she said, well, it's a little late, isn't it? And,
yeah, right.
I laughed and I said, well, it really wasn't necessary. So and again, I hold absolutely no ill will towards TSN or CTV or anything like that. I mean, they've been great to Body Break. In fact, TSN played Body Break more than any channel across Canada. I was on Off the Record more than 100 times, and of course, Joanne and I were on The Amazing Race. So I certainly hold no ill will towards CTV or TSN or anyone else.
And you are a staple, a legend, an icon in Canadian just pop culture history and television history as well. You see people defending you. Have you seen this on Twitter? People are just kind of stepping up. Not just your mom saying it's about time, but there's just people that have never met you maybe that are saying, hey, like it is about time.
Well, if the apology gets not only CTV but everyone to look around the boardroom, look around and see, do I have other people of different races? Do I have persons with disabilities? Do we have a mosaic of Canada? And if we don't, let's do something about it. And if that apology can spur that and spur that thinking, then that's great. That's fantastic. Let's all turn this into a positive. And Joanne and I have always thought that this is such an important issue. And I must say, Joanne, I'm in front of the cameras now, but Joanne was, without her, none of this would have happened. I mean, she was such a strong, has been and is a partner and a strong supporter of this, and has felt this with me through our 32-year journey.
It's amazing. You guys are a strong team, literally and figuratively as well. Cannot wait for the Canadian Heritage moment that celebrates Body Break and the two of you when that gets produced, and we're putting that out there now. Hal, thank you so much for joining us, and thank you for speaking out, man.
Thank you. Take care.
All right.